when you run out of caramel iced latte. What up, everybody? Welcome to mi canal, and I am so excited that y'all clicked on this video, and I am very thankful for everyone who's been supporting me, been following me, and been watching my videos and commenting. It's very awesome. I did not expect that, to be honest, and I'm very grateful. I finally reached 120 subscribers, and honestly I was just expecting like 10. So this is really big for me. I know it's not a lot, but it's big for me because that's not what I expected, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This video is going to be the 5 important steps in becoming a respiratory therapist, and along those steps I will be giving you like tips and like basically the important stuff for those steps. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and always share my videos. I'm down for that. And so yeah, let's get started. So step number 1 is actually getting into a respiratory care program. So my advice on that particular topic is do really good in your classes. What I've known, majority of respiratory care programs, like how they pick their students, is based on the highest points that you're able to get. And by that I mean, let's say you get an A in microbiology, they can give you 25 points for that A. If you get a B, it'll be 20 points. A C, 15 points. You know what I'm saying? So I've noticed that in the science courses, they give you higher points with the higher grade you get. And you kind of get like the same thing with your basics like English and stuff, but you won't get as high points. And what I mean by that, let's say microbiology, you get an A, it's 25 points. Let's say in English you get an A, it'd be 20 points. So you want to do really well in all your classes really, but you really want to do well in your science courses. Also, I have also realized that they give you points for like extra stuff. Like if you've been in a healthcare, you know, career, like you get like an extra point. If you already had an associate's or a bachelor's, you get an extra point. You also get points by the placement test. In every college that I've known, they have a different name for them. So let's just say placement test. Depending on the scores that you get for your English, writing, and math, you get like more numbers, more points for you. So I just recommend you doing really good in class if you really want to get into these programs. Some of these programs are so competitive, it's crazy. I've met people who tried tons of time to get into programs and they don't get it. Good thing, not to get big-headed or whatever, that was not the case for me. But it's been a hell of a challenge trying to do good in class. I am currently getting my bachelor's in Midwestern, and my aim, or like my goal in life, is to get into the perfusionist program in Arizona. And I think that's a points, that those are point systems too. So right now I am trying really hard to get really good grades because I want to get into that program the first time, and if I don't, I'm gonna have to keep on trying and not just not sound so good, I guess. So yeah, that is step number 1. Step number 2 is getting your actual degree. Depending on what route that you decided to take, you're either going to get your associates or your bachelor's, and you have to have either one of them to be able to go to your next step. That one isn't really like something to get in detail with because you just really need your bachelor's or your associates showing that you had completed a respiratory care program. So that's just simple. Step number 2 is getting your degree. Step number 3 is getting your credentials. So we are credentialized by National Board of Respiratory Care, or the NBRC is what majority of us know it from. And they require us to take 2 examinations. One of them is the therapist multiple choice exams, which will give you your CRT, and the clinical simulation exams, which will give you your RRT. A lot of places, or a lot of therapists, don't get their RRT. They're fine with just being CRTs, which is a certified respiratory therapist. And a lot of places, or a lot of therapists, go all the way and get their registered respiratory therapist. And that's really the big difference between those two. Are some CRTs, you're not going to get paid as much as RRTs. You do get paid more. And a lot of hospitals are kind of picky. So if you just have your CRT, they won't let you in ICU or emergency, you're kind of just stuck in doing medical floors. That's the really biggest difference between them. And the way you get those credentials is by taking your therapist multiple choice exams, which will give you your CRT, and your clinical simulation exams, we will give you your RRT. And how that works is that the multiple choice exam has two cut scores. The low cut score will give you your CRT, and your high cut score will give you eligibility to take your RRT, which is a clinical simulation exam, which is a completely different exam. So let's say you make it to your low cut score, but you don't make it to the high cut score to get your RRT. You're not eligible to take the exam for your RRT, and you have to actually retake that test until you meet the high cut score. It sucks because it can get expensive. I think for your multiple choice, you pay $200, and then it's $150 every time you retake it. So it can get pricey. And then once you get your RRT, I think that's like a $200 test. Fucking expensive too. I think it's the same cost to retake it, $150. I'm not sure. I can find that for you. And those are the two tests. But you don't need to get to your RRT to be able to apply for step number 4. So step number 4 is getting your license from the state that you are wanting to practice in. The thing about it is that you're not allowed to practice wherever you work without a state license. And it kind of gets a little difficult because people think just because you apply for your license the next day or the next week, you're able to work under your own license. That is not how it works. So how it works is that the medical board of license or licensed medical board, whatever, they have board meetings every like couple months or whatever. And in those board meetings, they have a list of all the people who applied for their licensure that applied before the deadline. And then they all get their licensures approved, and then you become your own licensed respiratory therapist. So in that time frame, you are working under somebody else's license. Majority of the time, you're working under the director of the department that you are employed at. And it's not that bad. I had to do that. And you basically still work as a respiratory therapist. There's not really limitations. I was obviously my first job, they require you to stay in the unit or stay in the medical force just doing breathing treatments, but that wasn't the case with me. I was already in ICU the third day I was by myself, and let me tell you, I might do a get ready with me respiratory edition because I almost wanted to poop my pants. I'm not even lying. That's how nervous I was. So yeah, that's how it goes with the licensure. You do have to pay $100, and you do have to keep up with it. Every 2 years you have to renew, but we'll get that because that's step number 5. So step number 5 is actually keeping up with your credentials. Majority of the time, you need to keep up with continuous education to be able to keep your credentials. And if you relapse and don't have your continuous educations, you have a risk of losing your license and having to retake those credential exams to be able to get your license back. And sometimes you can be under a probation period, which I don't know what happens to that probation period because obviously that's never happened to me. But how that goes is you have to keep up CEUs for 2 different agencies. I'm just going to call them agencies. One of them is your One of them is your medical license board, which you renew every 2 years, and you pay $100, and you have to have 12 CEUs. And the other one is the NBRC. You have to have 30 CEUs, but it's every 5 years. I don't know if you have to pay for that one. I'm assuming you do, but I haven't hit my 5 years yet. Last year I did my first medical license renewal, and it was really easy. I just have to pay. There's not a place where you have to submit your CEUs. You kind of just keep them in a folder. And if you get summoned, you have 30 days to go show it your CEUs, but you have to have all your CEUs before the date of your expiration on your license. But yeah, those are all the steps in becoming a respiratory therapist. I really hope you found this very educational. I know it's short and little, but you know, it was something. I had to get something out there on my tubal canal. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And you know what? Actually, comment down below the type of videos that y'all want to see. I also wanted to do another Q&A because there were some questions that I got right after I posted that video of my last Q&A, and actually somebody wanted me to go more into detail about like the difference between us and RTs or RNs. So comment down below any questions. There's links in my bio with my Instagram, so you can always DM me questions there. So my next video, I will be getting my questions together to do another Q&A part 2. So y'all let me know any questions and any videos that y'all want me to do for respiratory care. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Mm-hmm.